Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Spiritually Fucked podcast. I'm your host, Taylor Mulholland. Let's get into the show. Hello. Did you miss me? What's up, guys? I'm back, and I didn't go to India. Are you surprised? Because I'm kind of not surprised, and I'm recording this epi on March 11th, and I probably won't make my resurfacing until Aries season, which starts around March 20th. Wow, what an adventure. Where do I even start? Well, I'm going to start with the story that I've been wanting to tell for a very long time now, but I've had to keep it a secret, which it's not really that big of a deal, but I've kept it a secret because I was very dedicated to my hiatus. And, it's been a beautiful 2 months of being off the grid, but I'm like dying to make a post on Instagram. And that is just in my soul. And the reason I've extended this hiatus, I guess, sabbatical for so long is because I kept going back and forth and was in this in between of like wanting to post and then wanting to retract. And to me, when I'm questioning anything, it's a no. And so I'm really working on honing in on my intuition, and I'm learning that if I'm questioning something or if I don't know what I should do, I should just not do it and I should pull back. And my intention for India, I guess we'll just get into that. So I didn't make it to India, okay? But my intention for the trip was to A, spend time with my brother, and B, fucking disconnect from the world. I wanted to GTFO. Like, I was so in this portal of like posting every day and like texting all my friends, and that's who I am, and that's great and all, but I just was so exhausted. And I am a very intense person, okay? I have an Aries moon in my 10th house. I'm a big person, and you could call that crazy or passionate or intense, but I want to do everything. I want to do it all, but I have Cancer rising, so I'm a soft girl at heart, and I am rising into this soft, sensitive girl, but I have this really passionate heart that wants to do everything, and so I get fucking burnt out, okay? And I was at a place where I was feeling a bit burnt out, and I was doing a lot externally, like a lot of expression. I was just, I was in a fucking band. Which literally I thrive in that environment. Like, I love being on stage and love being part of like a team or a group, especially a creative one. But I just was like doing all this like outputting, and I was like, what am I doing for me? Like, I need to input, like I need to insource. And so for this trip for India, I was just so excited to be in a place where I literally couldn't be on my phone because I was off the grid. And I was deeply craving this connection with myself and also with my brother, who is now living in India. And so my intention for the trip was just to disconnect, experience a new part of the world, even though I might get a ton of parasites, and spend time with him. And disconnect. I don't know. I forgot what I said. Again, I'm so all over the place. It's a Gemini 12th house. There goes astrology again. It's a good day for astrology. Whenever my signs seem to lead up to who I am as a person, it's a good day for the zodiac signs. So anyways, not blaming them, but just showcasing them. That's who I am. I'm an astrologer. Okay, on to the story. And so we started planning this in November. It was so fun to plan a trip. I love planning trips. And then the day came that we left, and I guess I'll start by saying intuition is a funny thing, because this entire 2 months planning this trip, I was so excited, but for some reason it just didn't feel like it was happening. People would be like, are you excited? And I was like, well, yeah, but like, I don't know what this feeling is that I'm feeling. Like, I wasn't scared. I wasn't nervous. It was neutral. And, when you're going to a new country, especially where I was going to literally the dirtiest place, like in an ashram where I would like sleep on the floor. It's like super high stimulation. Like it would have been a big shock to my system. And for some reason, I just was like, yeah, let's go. Like, I'm feeling great. I packed activated charcoal. That's like it. Like, that's all I prepared myself for. And some like oxygenated magnesium. Meanwhile, I have like extreme IBS, like going to a country where their food is like so different, the water. Anyways, I like barely packed anything. I packed some like protein bars, some like nuts, and I was like, let's go. And so I flew to Chicago and we spent the night. And then the next day, we're at the Chicago airport and I'm like waiting in line. Like, I'm about to get on a 17-hour plane ride. Like, let's go. La di da di. And we get to the front and I'm all ready to go. Like, my visa checks, my bags checked, all that. And then my brother. Yeah, this okay. I don't want to spill too much tea, but okay, the visa thing, it didn't work for him, and so we we couldn't go. And but we had some options, and so they looked at us, and the person was like, "You can't fly out today," and I was again like neutral as could be. I'm like, the meditations must be fucking working because this didn't phase me at all. I was just like, okay, it's not meant to go today. Like, I guess it's not meant to be. And so we changed our flight to Wednesday. It was Monday that day. We're flying out Wednesday. Well, Wednesday comes and we still don't have the visa. And so I'm like, okay, we're going to fly out on Friday. And it ended up being a waiting game for a week. And we were waiting in Chicago when it was 0 degrees. I'm not lying. I'm not being exaggerating. It was 0 degrees and we were stuck inside of an airport. And I am someone who needs to fucking go outside. Like, I need grass. I need the sun. This is not a want. This is a physical need. Like, my skin needs to see the sun. I don't care how cold it is. But like, it was that cold where I couldn't leave. I couldn't lay in grass. Like, I was stuck inside an airport hotel for a week. By Friday, I said, I'm fucking going home. I can't wait any longer because I was supposed to be in India for 3 weeks and a week went by and I'm in Chicago. Like, what? That only leaves 2 weeks in India. And then what? I'm just going to sit inside of an ashram all day? Like, no, I'm not doing this. It's so. And, okay, also, it would have cost me $2,000 to buy a new plane ticket. No, thank you. Do you know how much money? Do you know how long it takes for me to make $2,000, you guys? I watch dogs. Like, it's not an easy thing to make $2,000. So I just said, I'm going home. And I'm like scheming in the airport hotel, thinking every single one of my friends, the whole entire internet thinks I'm in India right now and I'm in Chicago. Like, and now I'm going home to Boulder. And so I was really fucking excited because the intention for my trip was completed within that 1 week. I spent time with my brother. I spent a fucking week locked in a hotel with him. And I disconnected from everyone and the energy was redirected towards me. Like, you guys, intention is fucking everything. And this was the best trip ever and I didn't even make it to India. Because it wasn't India I wanted, it was the intention I set for India. And because that intention was completed, because I was just so dedicated and I kept connecting to it, I didn't need to fucking take a 17-hour plane ride to reconnect to myself. I just did it inside of a hotel in Chicago. And I landed back home and I just felt like I was in this liminal space where, no one's contacting me because everyone thinks I'm gone. I'm off Instagram. That was one thing, is like, no scrolling. And it felt so free. It felt so liberating to just have this time to myself. And I realized how much time I wasn't giving myself. And really, I just pulled my energy back. And that came from me pushing my energy forward so much. And I became really sensitive within these 2 months. Like, I had friends texting me, and it didn't feel right to respond. I just kept thinking or pretending I was in another country. Because I was giving myself this time instead of always being there for others. I was there for myself. And not that I'm, you know, saying that you shouldn't be there for others or anything, but I just did this because I haven't done this before. And I look back in my life, and I've always taken at least a month to 2 months off of Instagram just to really rest my brain and just reconnect with myself and do things with that time that I be on Instagram or scrolling or whatever. Not that I do that a ton, but like, I would like to have an internet brand. Like, you see that I post silly videos and I have podcasts. Like, I like to share my story. And these past few years, I've taken a little bit of time, 1 to 2 months every year, to just pull back. And I didn't do that last year. And last year was a fucking shit show. And last year was the year I was all over the fucking place. I launched a book. I launched a podcast. I just was popping off reels every fucking day. Like, I did a lot of ex-putting. Is that a word? I'm making it up. Ex-putting energy and expending energy, whatever. And I took this time to go inward, and my friends were texting me and sending me such sweet messages, and I just was taking this time for myself, and I let them rest because I didn't feel the need to reply. And I realized a lot of my some of my connections, or some reasons that I do reply right away, because I'm always someone who's pretty much like, I get back to you right away. I'm very respectful in that time, unless you're in my DMs and you're a guy I don't want to talk to. No, I'm kidding. No, I sometimes get really overwhelmed because I do talk to a lot of people. Like, I have a lot of friends, I'm not gonna lie. I'm 11th house Taurus, and so I'm always out there in the community. And so I spend a lot of time fucking talking to people, and I was realizing that the core root of that sometimes was coming from a place where I needed validation, or I needed to prove myself, or I needed worth. And so I would reach out externally. And for 2 months, I would catch myself in an uncomfortable place or feeling an emotion and immediately wanting to text my friends. And I said no. I said, sit down, Taylor, and you feel it. And I learned how to self-cope. And I feel like that was a really big part of this whole experience, was not relying on anyone but myself, and really seeing that, oh, I really want to reply to this person, or I really want to reach out to someone because I want to talk and I want to be distracted. I'm realizing that a lot of my habits in the past were forms of distractions. And again, not that I was doing anything wrong in the past, or any of this is wrong or bad. It's just the realization. And I was realizing a lot of myself in a big way. So that was kind of the overall energy of this experience, was just bringing it back to myself. I just had such a great time just not expending my energy doing anything. And expression is a huge part of my life, and I love to do it. It's my core center of who I am. But it felt so good to experience that with just myself. And I would make little things, or all my writings would just be for me. And that's what life is about. We really are just doing it for ourselves. And if you think you're doing it for someone else, it might be coming from a negative place, like needing to prove yourself. And don't get me wrong, I know my mission on this earth. Like, I know we all want to heal everyone and we all want to lift the frequency of this earth, but at the end of the day, we do die alone. Our souls are the only ones going on to the other side. Like, of course, we travel with our soul families and whatnot, and we want to make this world a better place, but at the end of the day, it's just you. And if you aren't living for you, you're doing something wrong, and not to live a selfish life, but live a selfless life. Does that work here? I don't know. What even is the meaning of selfless? Like, anyways, moving on. I got distracted by the prolific thoughts, but yeah, I really want to help people. That is my goal of anything I do. I want to put people in their hearts. That's my desire, is to lift the frequency of this planet, but at the same time, I have to lift the frequency of myself. And it starts with ourselves, and it starts with myself. And so I am coming from a full ass fucking cup. This cup overfloweth, and that's where we have to start. If we want to help others, we have to help ourselves first. And I have helped myself a lot these past few months. And one of the main things that I'm super fucking proud of is I sat down and I finished my second book. And that second book is fucking good, you guys. I have goosebumps. It is my favorite work of art. There are a lot of things I wish I did different with Volume Bloom, and I have a lot of critiques on that. The biggest feedback, the only feedback I get from Volume Bloom is how depressing it was. They go, it was so sad. I go, I guess that's who I was. And this next book is not going to be that. It's revolutionary. It puts you in your heart. It helps you remember. It's the guide for remembrance. And it started with the remembrance with myself. And so these past 2 months, I've just been knuckled down. I've been white knuckling this book like crazy. I mean, you spend 12 hours a day reading poetry, you start speaking like a fucking poet. Like, I literally couldn't help but, like, all my sentences just rhymed and were lyrical, and I'm like, okay, I sound like Dr. Seuss. Like, I need to tone it down. But 12 hours a day for like an entire, like, probably 12 hours a day for like 3 weeks straight. And then I had to wait for the prints to come in, and right now I just sent in a second print last night, and so that book will be in my lap at the end of the month, and we'll plan a launch. And so this book is long. People thought Volume Bloom was long. It was 226 pages. This one's longer. And I didn't intentionally mean it to be longer, but it would have been 900 pages if I just left it raw. And I'm not kidding. It was 900 pages because my writings span from year to year. Like, Volume Bloom is September 2022 to September 2023. It's 1 year. For this next book, which the name shall not be mentioned here, is from September 2023 to September 2024. It was 900 pages. I got it down to the allotted pages that I ended with. And again, everything's under wraps, okay? It's all a secret still. And it is so fucking good. And it's not good. It's great, though. And I didn't write any of this. I didn't write any of this recently. This is writings from almost 3 years ago. 2 years ago. Some almost 3 years ago. And I was just here editing it. And the writings lined up to what I'm experiencing in my life. I'm like, this is fucking crazy shit. But I guess that's what happens when you are a channeler. You channel things that your future self needs to hear. But anyways, this next book is awesome. I'm really excited for it. But I needed to sit down and be off Instagram to finish it because it takes a lot of time and effort, and I didn't want anyone else's influence to influence this book. And you know, when you're on Instagram, you're not aware that you are kind of absorbing everyone else's thoughts and patterns, even if you are not conscious of it. And you know, your subconscious mind is running like 95% of your brain, and so it's absorbing a lot of these subconscious things. And so even if you're just looking at a picture, you're absorbing all the energy of that picture, and there might not even be any words in it, but you're absorbing it. And so I really wanted like nothing in this book to be anything but me, and it is all me, baby. The art, all of it, the editing, copyright, like literally all of it is me. And I want you to know that I put in so much time and effort and heart into my books. Like, those things are all me. I don't use any external things to write those. It is all me. And I'm really proud of this one. And so I did that within the first 2 weeks, actually, of this hiatus. But of course, you think the book's done editing, and then you keep reading it and you edit more. And so I have finally had to just become to a place of being like, I'm fucking done. I'm done with you. And so that's all almost complete. You know, it's still in the final processes of the book writing process, which if you want to know more about, I do have a podcast. It's the story of Sad Flowers Written. And if you are inspired to write a book or ever curious about it, just listen to that. It's not an easy process, but it's doable. If I can do it, you can do it. And I'd love to help you out in it if you want help. That's what I'm here for. Anyways, so I did the book, and then I've been dealing with a lot of emotions lately because I am moving into my own place, which you think that's like going to be a really exciting new adventure, but it of course comes with a lot of new territories. And so, you know, I've been living with my mom the past my whole life except for like 6 months. I did have my own place, but yeah, I've lived this life of a traveling dog sitter, and so I haven't really been home much. But this past year, I've really been setting the intention of less dog sitting and more being in my home and less traveling. And you know, I'm realizing that I am outgrowing this home that I'm in, and you know, really craving my own space. And so I made the decision to move out. But with that, I need to find the money that's gonna go, and the energy that's gonna go towards making those monthly payments. And so a huge change for Taylor, because you know, I live at home, I make my money dog sitting, and then I go to Joe Dispenza events, and then I go travel, and I do all these things. And it's been such a free life, and that's been freedom for me for so long. And freedom to me now in the future looks like my own space. But with that comes, you know, adult responsibilities. And so I've been really heavily looking for jobs that are in alignment with me. And, you know, finding a job is not easy in general, but finding a job you like, it's like, shit, it makes it harder. And there are so many things I offer. I mean, granted, I could go the entrepreneur route and do my combo and my bodywork services and astrology readings, but you know, that's not off the gate. You know, you can't put all your eggs in that basket, because it's not sustainable enough as of right now. And so I can't just like move into my old place and think I'm gonna all of a sudden like get all these clients. And so I've had to like look for jobs, and I'm still, you know, it's March 11th and I move in at the end of April, and I still really don't have anything lined up. And again, this is following a full-blown trust. I have buckled down on this fucking unwavering faith and full-blown trust, and have really set strict standards for how I show up to myself, or how I show up for myself and how I show up to my lineage and my ancestors. And um, I I say that because they are my support system. Like, I don't have my dad here with me in the physical realm. I don't have him to support me here, but you bet your bottom dollar that I do have him in the astral realm. And I've been really, this is very personal things that I didn't think I was sharing. I was going to share it, but I guess I'm sharing it now. Just built really buckling down and building the connection with, spirit, my ancestors, and having them be my full blown trust system, because, you know, we are humans, we are on this earth plane, and just because someone's passed, quote unquote, passed away or is dead, doesn't mean they're dead. They're just not on this physical earth plane. That's how I look at it, and that's how I live my life. And, you could think I'm crazy, like, whatever. That's how I live. That is always what served me. And these past few months, I've made this commitment to connecting with them and building trust and having that be my trust system, because you know what? I don't have anything else. And it has changed the game. I mean, I've seen miracles happen before my eyes, and I'm just like, you can't make this shit up. Of just like this small amount of information we know as humans, but you like zoom out on a telescope and you see like how big this universe is and how we're just a fucking tiny speck of dust. And if we think like we're like, that's it, like this human life is just like you come here and then you die, and then when you die you're dead. And it blows my mind that people still think like that. Granted, think however you want. I really am like not here to convince you of anything different, but just from what I've seen and felt in these past few months has been so crazy. And I'm like, I go through these phases of being like super like anxious, like, oh my God, I have to make rent. I have to somehow have $2,000 fall out of my ass every month, and I have to get a job. And then I reconnect with that system, and that I zoom out and I see like how we're just like a speck of dust in this giant solar system. And then it just, for some reason, it just calms me, because it's like, it's not that big of a deal. And maybe I'm saying this because maybe it's meant for someone to hear this, but it's like, some things are just not that big of a deal. And that's how I've been able to go through this process with ease. It hasn't always been easy, but, from someone who has a lot of programming from, financial instability. I mean, I grew up on fucking welfare. We had food stamps, I'd hide food as a kid, so no one would eat it. And I had to ask my friends to make me lunch. Like, we had to steal food. Like, that's how I was raised. And so I have this programming that I just have a lot of programming when it comes to money and finances. And so to sign a lease that I, Taylor Mulholland, have to pay these monthly payments while also paying for a car and my life and food while I have no job. It's not even like I have a job and I can like, I make this much a month, I can afford this house. It's like, no, I make nothing. Like, all my money comes in randomly, and I've been able to survive up to this point with that, and it's been great and dandy. But to sign a new place, it's a commitment. Maybe I'm afraid of commitment. I can commit. It's a new adventure for Taylor, but I have full trust. I have full fucking trust that I'm gonna figure it out. And I have a spot on my shirt that I just realized. It looks like blood. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe it is blood. Anyways, so I'm poor. No. The reality is that I'm just building this new trust system with myself, and I've had to do that with myself, and I haven't had my friends there, well, just by choice, to, coach me through that or support me within this. I've really just relied on myself and my spirit team, and it's worked. That's all I'm going to say is it's worked. And if there's one thing I can teach anyone in this world, it is what I've experienced and learned in the past 2 months. And I'm really excited to start sharing that and, teaching people how to reconnect with themselves and reconnect with their spirit team and to fall in love with humanity again. This world can be so dark and so negative, and we can get so consumed in that. But when you zoom out, you realize that it's all just guiding us to our next soul coming. I just made that up. Soul coming. To our next becoming. And, the next soul coming or the next becoming that's happening in my life, I needed the silence because I was needing to step into my own power and my own truth. And that only happens when you cut the noise of everything else. I wasn't listening to what other people had to say about my life or about their life. I wasn't comparing myself anymore. I was just comparing myself to me, and I was able to really hone in on what I want to feel, what I want to experience. And right now, that is my own space. And so, however it takes for me to get there, I'm gonna fucking do it. And I'm gonna find a job, or the job's gonna find me, that is gonna be super rewarding and fulfilling. Because if I know me, I have to be in a position where I can show up to work every day and I love what I do. I mean, it's for anyone, but I really don't care what it is. I'm not that picky about what it is. It's just got to be in an environment that I love. And, I had that back in Scottsdale, and I haven't found that here yet. And I want to love my coworkers, and hopefully they like me. I want to make an impact on this world. I don't know if that's going to be the job that supports me. Like supports my rent right now. If I'm going to be like serving humanity doing that, maybe I will. I think me leaving the house is serving humanity at this point. As long as I can still share and be an impact on others and also afford rent, like, I'm happy. And so that's the next chapter for me. And so these past few months I've been able to hone in on who I am, what I am here to offer, and what I want to experience. And I'm really excited to start sharing more and to show up for you guys. But I only can do that if I show up for myself. And I've reconnected with my toolbox, my practices that have changed my life, and I really found out what works when I'm experiencing anxiety, when I am feeling fear, or when I'm feeling pain in my body. Because that's another thing, is I didn't see any healers. Like, I have been seeing the same guy for the past 7 years now, monthly, and I even took a break on that, and I haven't seen any body workers or gotten any services done except for a haircut. I got a haircut. Okay, I will admit that. When I experienced pain in my body, I sat with myself and I said, what toolbox do I have? Because not everyone has access to amazing chiropractors or, amazing body worker healers or medicine men. Like, some people don't have that. And so I had to really think, how can I fix this myself? How can I redirect this energy myself? How can I transmute this? And I found those practices just by being with myself. And I feel like what I've been wanting or desiring to create and give out into this world was locked in and came to life these past 2 months with myself. And that's the path of the healer, is you gotta heal yourself before you can heal anyone else. And not that I, you know, am a healer or I'm naming myself as healing anyone, but what I am saying is I know and live by the saying, we are all here to walk each other home, and we can only do that by walking ourselves home. And I have walked myself home these past few months. And if I can share my experience and if it helps one person, then I feel I've done my job. And of course, I want it to help more people and I want to make money off of helping people. Like, that's another thing about being a creative is we just want to live a life where we can be creative and to be supported by our creative gifts into this world. And if I find a job like a fucking, I don't know, I call them 9 to 5 jobs, but I would never work a 9 to 5 in my entire life. But if I find like a day job where I'm like serving tables or whatever, and that makes me happy as can be, and then I can do my creative work on the side and I'm like happy, like that's great. But like, obviously, to be a creative, you need time and energy towards a creative path. And so getting paid for your creativeness is like obviously the goal. But, anyways, I'm going to wrap it up there. And save more for the next episode. So, anyways, thank you so much for being here. Hopefully, you didn't unfollow me during my 2-month hiatus. And if you did, well, you're missing out. And so, just know that I adore you so much. And I'll talk to you soon. Okay, bye.